Hello and welcome to the next lesson of our Git Essentials course. In this video, we want to publish our local repository to the server. Therefore, we will use the platform GitHub. Of course, there are various platforms allowing you to host your GitHub, your Git repository on the server, especially GitLab or Bitbucket, for instance. But I like GitHub, and that's why I just show the demo here with GitHub. And of course, you can apply this setup to all of the other platforms as well. Technically, it is the same, of course. To be able to communicate with the Git server, you have two possibilities. The first possibility is to authenticate yourself with the username-password combination, or you use a SSH key. And we want to go with the second way, the SSH key. If you do not have any SSH key, I recommend that you just create one on your very own. And I've prepared this command for the Git for Windows shell already. If you have a look at the terminal, you see the command ssh-keygen. And then we pass just the algorithm and the length of the key, as well as our email address. And I just choose my company's email address for this, and then you can just start over and hit enter. Doing this will bring up a small little assistant telling you that now a new directory was created, the .sh directory. This directory is the default directory where all your private and public keys are stored by default. And it is also, if you do not have any SSH key right now, there will be a key generated with the name ID_RSA. And this default name is taken for every SSH communication with every server, unless you configure something else. So you can also place a SSH configuration in this SSH directory to define which SSH key communicates with which server. But in our case, we just need one SSH key, and that's why we do not have to configure anything. You can just hit enter here. This will create the file in the .sh directory. And then you are also asked for a passphrase, but you do not really have to enter a passphrase here. If you do not want to type any password, if you upload or download files from your Git server, I strictly would recommend to do not pass any passphrase in here. No worries, you are safe, of course, by using the public and the private key. So you can hit enter here again. You can enter the same passphrase, just hit enter one more time, and this will just create the SSH key for you. Your SSH key is now located in a directory called .ssh, and this is located in our home directory. If you just list the contents of the directory, you will see the ID_RSA and the ID_RSA.pub file. You need to protect your ID_RSA file. This is your private key. Do not show this to anyone. Do not upload or send it via email or something like this. This is never a good idea to show this to the public, since other people would be able to go into your connections and so on. This is nothing that you want to do. But of course, what you can share and what you're allowed to share is your public key. And the GitHub platform, for instance, needs your public key to be able to authenticate yourself against the local machine you're using. This allows you to upload and download change sets of your Git repository. And that's why we just open the public file here for a moment with our Visual Studio Code editor. And since Visual Studio Code has been started, we are able to copy this public key since we now head over to GitHub and create an account and logging ourselves in. To do this, you need to visit the github.com website, and if you do not have any account for GitHub, you are asked for a username, your email address, and a password, and then you can create your own account and log in. Since I have an account, I just now will hit the sign in button here and log into my user account. If you have logged into your GitHub user account, you will see your dashboard. On the left side, you will find your profile name and a bunch of repositories you may have created on your own or in other organizations in GitHub. In the center, you will find some of your recent activities, so you can also collaborate with other developers on their projects, and then you can find if you commented anything or sent a pull request, and so on and so on. And on the right side, there's also a cool thing. So GitHub will a little bit will analyze a little bit what kind of programming language you're using, and then it just recommends interesting and trending repositories to you that are very famous in the open source community. But now we want to authenticate ourselves, or want to be able to authenticate ourselves with a public key. And that's why we need to go to the right side here, and then we need to go to the Settings tab. And you will see that you can just upload your profile picture and further information where your blog is, for instance, where you're located, but you do not have to add these information if you do not like to. What we want to focus on is the navigation point here, SSH and GPG keys, and here we are able to simply add a new SSH key. As you can see, I have a primary key here that I use for my all-day work, and for a customer I just needed another SSH key, or for various customers. And now for this demo, I just want to say that I now going to paste my public key in here. I just name this temporary demo key for the moment. And now GitHub already knows about my public key, and now I should be able to create a repository here at GitHub, and then I should be also able to upload my changes or my repository to GitHub. To do this, you need to go back to the start page, and here you can create a new server-side hosted repository. And if you click the new button, there is a little window where you have to type the name. I just stick with the name that we have used in the previous videos. I say new repository here, and I want to make this repository public so everyone can see it, everyone can contribute or comment on this repository. You can also say that this is private. This does not cost anything. So since a few months ago, Microsoft and GitHub decided that private repositories for users or personal users are free as well. So now I just initialize an empty repository, and we are now on the main page of this repository. And GitHub is already telling us what we need to do to make use of this repository. If we do not have any repository, we have a small snippet here telling us how we can initialize a repository, how we add the first commit to it, and finally how we add the remote to the repository. And how we can do this remote and upload, we will do this in our terminal. Now we are back in our terminal, and now we want to add something called remote to our repository. A remote is just a link to a Git server where we can upload our repository or later on our changes, if you like. And to add a remote, we can simply type the command git remote, and then we just say that we want to add a remote, And then we have to give that link a name. And there is a convention in the Git community telling that the main remote that you use is called origin. So this is your origin remote. You can, of course, add multiple remotes, but it's kind of a convention that origin is the main server that you're using. And after passing the name, you can add the URL for your GitHub repository that you find in the main page of your repository on GitHub. And please be aware of that we are using this SSH key or SSH URL here, so that Git knows, okay, that it should use the public key to authenticate itself against the Git server. So when we add the remote, we are fine to upload our changes. But as you can see here, I am still at the feature/a branch. This is not a problem at all, but I just want to show you how you can do this with the master branch. So since the master branch is a stable branch that you're going to publish first, normally, that's why I just check out into my master branch. And now I need to do the initial push. And push is the thing or is the command that allows you to upload your repository or your changes to GitHub. So git push. And now I also have to say that I want to link my local master branch with the server version of the branch. You can imagine if we upload our branch, that there is a working copy of our branch at the server and on the client side. And Git can link both branches together to know, okay, if I'm at the master branch and I hit push later on, or I want to download some changes, that it automatically grabs the right branch from the server. And that's why we need to we need to add a parameter called -u. It's the shorthand for --set upstream, and this will link the local version of the master branch with the server version. Then I just I just add the remote that we have added so far, and then I just pass the branch name as well. And since this is the very first connection that I am open with github.com, I am prompted to add this server to something called a trusted server. And that's why you need to answer this question with yes. And then it's added to a file. And then you can see that GitHub, the Git client, uploads your repository to GitHub. And finally, you will see that your local master branch went to the server, and that a master branch is created at the server as well. So let's check this in our GitHub page if everything works as expected. Back in Chrome here, you will see this is the old version of my web page. So I let this open, that's why nothing has changed so far. So, and if you hit a refresh here on the button at the top, you will see that we now have our list of our files that we have created so far. And we also are able to find a few statistics. We have pushed 19 commits, for instance, and you may want just to click a bit around, find out what GitHub provides to you, what features you have with an issue, or you can also add a wiki, for instance. There are some settings you may want to check out. So just feel free to play around at GitHub. And in the next video, we will see how we can make use of this server repository to maybe download changes or work with multiple Git clients to work with a centralized server. Thank you for watching, and we see us in the next video. By the way, if you still have any question about the video, or if you have any further question, please do not hesitate to ask me and leave me a comment below. Thank you.